Hello, and welcome to this fifth episode of The Possibility of Poetry. My name is Jackie, and I've been an English teacher for over 30 years. My intention in starting this podcast was to take the mystery out of poetry. I've been to parties and other places, I meet new people, I tell them what I do, and they instantly recoil. Oh my God, poetry, I don't get it. I'm here to tell you that there's nothing to get. Poetry is about the meaning you make of it. And the possibility of poetry is that it is powerful, that it impacts your life, that it makes you realize you're not alone. Some other human being somewhere has had the same exact thoughts that you have had. It's a lonely existence. We spend a lot of time together, but do we understand each other? Do we commune with each other? That is the possibility of poetry, and that is why it's powerful. Communication, connection. So, in our past episodes, we've talked a bit about Freud and Carl Jung. You remember German dudes, right? And they had the pyramid. And that our consciousness, Freud came up with this idea, the consciousness is just the very tip of that pyramid. And that all the stuff that's going on underneath, all of the slurry, the iceberg that killed killed all those people on the Titanic, that's under the water that you can't even see. And Jung would say that there's a brick wall in between our consciousness and unconsciousness. I know it's kind of a mixed metaphor. You're like, how can there be a brick wall and an iceberg? Just stay with me. Just stay with me, people. But there are chinks in this brick wall. And so our unconscious is sort of talking to our conscious. But how does it talk to our conscious? In images. It doesn't just show up one day and say, hey, the reason you're doing that is because you fell down and hurt yourself when you were 2 years old and your mom didn't protect you. Now you've got this lifelong blah diddy blah blah blah. It's going to give you a picture. It's going to give you an image. And Jung called these images archetypes. So one of the most powerful kind of archetypes, boy, I'm using that word a lot today, aren't I? Okay. Well, okay, power. Let's just go with it. Power is mythology. So, in our modern parlance, mythology we use to mean a lie. If somebody says something, ugh, that's a myth, meaning it's a lie. But what Jung pointed out was that we have shared stories. We have stories that are the same across cultures. But what these stories do is connect us together. There's a reason that we all respond to the same sort of Romeo and Juliet love stories, or we respond to that same kind of hero who discovers who he is at 11 years old, Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, and is destined for greatness. There's a reason these are popular stories. Here, I got a great quote for you. Ready? Mythology is the loom on which we weave the raw materials of daily experience into a coherent story. I know. One more metaphor. Hey, it's a poetry podcast. We got a lot of metaphors here. We got three in the first 5 minutes. Keep up. Keep up, people. So, our poem today is going to weave some of this mythology in. So, our tarot, which connects to it all, is the moon. There you can see it above me, like my head is kind of in the moon there. So the moon is a major arcana, and it's about intuition. It's about creativity. It's about illusion. It's about subconscious. So you can see in the picture behind me that there's water, right? And so here we have Freud and Jung, the conscious and the unconscious again. What you can't see in the rest of the picture, you can see a little bit of it, is that there's a woman there and she's kind of sinking under the wave. She's sinking into her subconscious, into her intuition. So you can also see in this picture that there are two canines. one on either side, one white, one black. And yes, you're right in thinking yin yang. So one is supposed to be a dog and one is a wolf. And so this is showing the different sides of us, again, conscious and unconscious, of our tamed side that, but it has the same nature as the wolf, which is our untamed side, which is our unconscious. So, like I said, the poem we're going to be reading today is a lot about intuition. It's a lot about the uncertainty because our conscious we can be certain of. Our conscious is about facts. It's about logic. It's about here's the way it works and I can prove it. Whereas our intuition, and again, the hugest part of the iceberg is unverifiable. I guess that would be the word. It's not unknowable, it's just unverifiable. It takes a leap, it takes possibility. Ta-da! Name of this podcast again. Possibility of poetry. There's a possibility in intuition. Playing the fool, letting it happen. Hey. So there's a couple of poetic techniques that this author uses. This is Sylvia Plath. One of them we've gone over before, which is repetition. Repetition really is one of the most powerful. Oh, there I go with that word again. One of those powerful things a poet can use is because it directs your attention. It says, here, let me say this again, here. No, wait, you're distracted. Here. Here is my main point. Pretty easy to get. And remember way back in that first episode too, we talked about connotation and how words have different meanings, have multiple meanings, depending on the emotional connection and the context and all of that. Phrases do as well. So when they're repeating this phrase over and over again, we're also looking at what is it being connected to this time? What aspect of this phrase? What connotation? What possibility? Oh my goodness, all of it just coming at us. This is poetry. And also, if you don't get anything out of it, that's okay too. Just let it happen. So another thing this poet does, Sylvia Plath, is she puts things in parentheses. We all know parentheses from elementary school grammar lessons, right? It's when it's like an aside, when it's like not really unknown, but it makes me think of this picture behind me again, right? The parentheses, the aside would be under the water, right? It would be like, uncertainty. Here's uncertainty in this. Okay, are we ready? I'm ready. This is a beautiful poem. So how we do it is I read it twice. The first time I read it, you're just flowing with it. You try not to jump to meaning. I know I just said you got to make meaning. Don't. All right, here we go. Imbalance already. Um, just kind of let it flow. Your brain is naturally going to pick out things that are salient meaning stick out. So just let it happen. And then we'll have a little pause, let those things float around a little bit. And then I'm going to read it again and see what else comes up. If that same thing comes up, if more comes up, or if nothing comes up, that's okay too. Then I'm going to give you some suggestions, which again, you can use or not. So because you don't have a copy of the poem, when she does parentheses, I'm just going to lower my voice a little bit. That's how you know that there's the parentheses going on. Okay, are we ready? We are. Here we go. This is called Mad Girl's Love Song by Sylvia Plath. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I lift my lids and all is born again. I think I made you up inside my head. The stars go waltzing out in blue and red, and arbitrary blackness gallops in. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. I think I made you up inside my head. God topples from the sky, hell's fires fade, exit seraphim and Satan's men. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I fancied you'd return the way you said, but I grow old and I forget your name. I think I made you up inside my head. I should have loved a thunderbird instead. At least when spring comes, they roar back again. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I think I made you up inside my head. Letting that settle. Think about what came up, what stuck out. Got any images? I'm going to read it again. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I lift my lids and all is born again. I think I made you up inside my head. The stars go waltzing out in blue and red, and arbitrary blackness gallops in. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. I think I made you up inside my head. God topples from the sky, hell's fires fade, exit seraphim and Satan's men. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I fancied you'd return the way you said, but I grow old and I forget your name. I think I made you up inside my head. I should have loved a thunderbird instead. At least when spring comes, they roar back again. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I think I made you up inside my head. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some suggestions, just some things to think about. If that's helpful, great. If it's not, you can ignore it and just get what you can out of this poem. All right. So I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I bet you picked it up. That's that repetition. She says it, let's see, one, two, three, four. Yeah, she says it four times. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. So the first thing when I read it, I was like, I was playing peekaboo like you do with a child. And they think that you can't see them if you can't see them if they can't see you, because that's their reality. But it also made me think of um, that there's nothing behind her, that she doesn't have that layer maybe of intuition, of anything else inside. Like all she's got is the outside. All the world drops dead. There is no inner world, which would kind of be the opposite of the moon tarot. But maybe that's the issue. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. Whew. And then she does the opposite. There you go. We've talked about this, the shift. I lift my lids and all is born again. So she can see outside of her. There's that world that doesn't exist when she can't physically, visually interact with it. And then we have our first parentheses, which I know you got. Yes. And again, the parentheses is the repetition too. We've got like one, two, three, four. I've got four of them, so it's kind of a balance. I shut my eyes and all the world is dead, repeated four times. I think I made you up inside my head, repeated four times, and they rhyme. And that's what rhyme does. Like Dr. Seuss, it just connects things. If something in a poem is rhyming, that means there's a connection. And it's cool to listen to. It sounds cool. That works. When things sound cool, you pay more attention to them, right? So there it is. So I think I made you up inside my head. She's doubting herself, isn't she? She thinks it, so there is something going on in there, but she's doubting herself. She's doubting her thoughts. She's doubting her intuition. I think I must have made you up because when I close my eyes, I can't see you. When I open my eyes, the world is there, but are you in that world? Can I trust that reality outside of me? She's messed up. So then we return to the physical world. All right. Okay. So the stars go waltzing out. And what a beautiful word, waltz. Does anybody waltz anymore? I love that. People used to waltz all the time. Lawrence Welk, they used to waltz. But yeah, but again, waltzing is a very prescripted kind of proscripted. Yeah, that'd be the right. Anyway, kind of dance. You move this way, you move this way, but it's so beautiful, right? And you wear beautiful clothes when you do it. They probably smell really good too. Oh, those waltzers. So off the stars go, and waltzing is not an unhappy thing. So they're happy to go. Off they waltz. And oh my God, that darkness is just waiting, isn't it? Because it gallops in. It doesn't just waltz in itself. It's not just tiptoeing in, it's galloping in. Here it comes, the darkness. But that darkness is arbitrary. So it means it's not supposed to be any one way. It's arbitrary. Huh. Okay. So then again, she shuts her eyes and all the world drops dead. So she's shutting her eyes on the stars. She's shutting her eyes on the galloping darkness. Or is that something that's happening inside? All right, so then this one, of course, I dreamed. So there is something happening inside of her. The world isn't all dead inside of her. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Does that sound like fun? Okay, so if someone bewitched you into bed, they're not being very honest, right? Maybe she felt like she didn't have a choice. She was bewitched. She was under a spell and sung me moonstruck. Again, you know, you may know, I mean, that's where the word lunacy came from, is luna, la bella luna. Like you're struck by the moon and it makes you insane. And then whoever it is kissed her quite insane. So this relationship, full on nutty and possibly not real, right? She's doubting whether this thing was real at all. Was this a phantom? Was this a real person? Who knows? Because again, she says, I think I made you up inside my head. And it because it was so perfect or so awful. So now we're going to get into some mythology. And remember what I said, that mythology doesn't mean a lie. It just means a shared story that we all have. And we all have a shared story of God and Satan, right? So not about belief here. That's not what mythology is or is not. It's that mythology is just a shared story. Okay. God topples from the sky. Hell's fires fade. So both ends of the spectrum. Nobody's winning here. Not the heavens, not hell. Everything celestial in that mythological universe is gone. exits seraphim, as you know, they're the angels, the head angels, and Satan's men, like everybody, all gone. All of that inner good and evil, all of that morality and structure, maybe. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. There's nothing there. The stars are gone. There's only galloping darkness. There's no God or Satan to hang on to. There are no shared stories. And then she gets very real. Then it feels like whoever this lover is, if it was a lover, is very real. I fancied you return the way you said. Oh, well, those bedroom promises. Mm. But I grow old and I forget your name. So whatever it was, whatever that lover was, lied, lied, bewitched, lunacy, moonstruck. And again she says, I think I made you up inside my head. Would that be easier for her? Do you think? If whoever this isn't real? Is she making her own myth of this person or thing or whatever it is? Because that's easier than having been lied to and bewitched and left? I should have loved a thunderbird instead. Okay, we got more mythology there. So in Native American tradition, the thunderbird, you may have known well, his name. He makes the thunder, he brings the rain, he brings the life-giving rain. And she says, at least when spring comes, they roar back again because that's when the rains come that fertilize the desert. You know, this is big in the Great Plains tribes and the Southern tribes, that the Thunderbird comes and brings rain and brings life and brings monsoon and everything comes back to life after the cold winter or the dry winter. So again, connecting this lover with mythology. Like I could love a thunderbird just as much as I loved you, and at least he'd come back once a year instead of leaving me here. So what kind of myth is this other one? And then she repeats both of her repeated lines. So here she repeats her repeated lines together, which hasn't happened yet in the poem. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I think I made you up inside my head. What do you think? Did she? It doesn't matter if she did or if she didn't. This lover is still not there. Was she making this up so that she can deal with this? Or was it a mythological encounter? Hmm. Mad Girl's Love Song. And even that, even the title has got different things. So are we talking mad as in crazy as in lunacy or mad as in angry? Because you could read it either way or both ways. All right. So that is our beautiful poem for today. I hope you got something out of it. But if you didn't, that's okay too. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I hope you think about the moon this week and mythology and what that can bring to you and to your life. And when does the world drop dead for you? Take care.